humans, ghouls, and mutated fools, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon with me, Mara, a mutated zombie, on the channel Beware Mutated Zombies. I lost an eye and we had to go hunt for another eye, which is why this is late. Sorry about that, but also not sorry because I kind of need working eyeballs. But where we left off, I'm gonna say Cavalier, and Varg are having it out with words. Well, not Varg. What's his name? The dude who's like, his name was basically his name. He was the queen's uh right hand person. I don't remember his name, honestly. It's bad. I remember his face. I'm good with faces, I'm not good with names, okay? It's a problem, as you might be able to tell by me not being able to pronounce Rumple's real name. But I'm pretty sure we got the bad ending, so we're gonna go through this, and then we're gonna speed run to the good ending again. I'm never gonna get the good ending on these. We're just gonna keep speed running until yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and yeah. Let's see how this ends up as a bad ending. I'm very curious. All right, Cavalier, snap out of it. Mithros, that's his name. Jeez Louise. Just look at all of these men you cannot save. All these men dying before your eyes. Cavalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That is why you sought help from a witch. Oh, magic. Mithros' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that is different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Cavalier and realize that the magic's already working its way into him. He does not see anyone except for Mithros, who is still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I slowly inch backwards, making a show of looking at Cavalier. Neither Mithros nor Cavalier seem to see me. What? So Cavalier and you were next to each other, and then you start walking backwards while making a show of how would you make a show of looking at someone? I want to how do I will protect you, Cavalier. I will do whatever it takes, even if I have to kill someone. I pluck this sword from the ground and grasp it at the hilt. It feels heavy in my hand, but I ignore the weight. He never wanted you to kill someone. I guess this means that you're too needy because he likes people who, like, ignore him and, like, treat him poorly. So, like, showing that you care for him enough to kill for him, he doesn't like that, I guess. So I guess that's how this is a bad ending. I rush down the hallway with the sword, weaving my way to the side so that I am out of the way of the knights fighting each other. I look squarely at Mithros, and then suddenly Cavalier's eyes flicker to me, only momentarily, but enough for me to know that he is no longer looking at Mithros in a daze. I turn back and see Cavalier rubbing his hand across his eyes. Mithros snaps his finger, and two of the fighting knights turn and rush toward me. The knights manage to back me into a corner of the wall. I hold the blade out as they bear down on me and close my eyes. My hands shake on the hilt, but I stand resolute, ready for the blow. But it does not come. Moments before the knights raise their swords, I am aware of breath on my cheek and beautiful violet eyes staring into my own. Lilac! Wait, so Mithros needs you alive, so why would he force the knights to kill you? Like, he doesn't know for sure that Cavalier would, like, unless he magically was like, oh, I'm going to make you go forward and save her, even though, like, I have questions. But the word ends in a gasp as the blade is buried deep into Cavalier's chest. Oh. Did you kill him? Is that sword going towards her? Or is that your sword outwards? I have questions. His words fade as his hands slide down on either side of me. He slumps and his head falls to my shoulder. Oh, she's crying. No. A raw sound escapes my throat as I feel the warmth leave Cavalier's body. Cavalier, I scream his name and he looks up, but his eyes do not see me. They are somewhere far away. Mithros pulls Cavalier's body down to the ground where it falls with a terrible thud. Inconsequential. I am deaf to Mithros's words. I slump down beside Cavalier, my hands reaching for his. His eyes are still open, but the light in them is gone. No. Tears stream down my face. I cannot breathe. I cannot hear my heart. Everything is quiet and dark. Cavalier! They did really well with the art, with the crying. Now that the obstacle is gone, you have nothing left, Princess. Mithros's hands reach for me. I attempt to lift this sword, but he knocks it easily out of my hands. Are you truly the queen's daughter? The queen never cried. She was the strongest woman I knew. I cannot breathe and cannot stifle the sobs escaping my throat. She taught me that sentimentality was nothing to value, that it would only make you weak. I assumed you knew that too, Princess. But I was wrong. It will be a good thing when the queen is back on the throne. The weak do not win. He snaps his fingers and the witches congregate around me. Now we shall use you to bait the fairy, and then everyone else will fall. I will unravel this effort at its heart. He nudges Cavalier's body. I look down at Cavalier's ashen face and sob. I let the tears gather in my eyes until I cannot see anything. Nothing matters anymore. And we don't get to see what the queen looks like after she wins and what happens. Oh, that's really cool. I don't remember anything like that happening. I remember the bad end, but I don't remember anything cool like an image. Spool of needles is what the achievement is when you lose that one. Okay, so I'm a cheat. I have that right answers. I'm a cheat. I'm a cheat. So get ready to speed run. Would you like to? No, I know how to play. It's fine. Skip. Go right. Skip. I have no questions. I'm good. Go away. I know everything I need to know. So this is how you truly feel? Skip. I'm pretty sure last time I threw the tray at him, because I remembered that was a thing. Can I throw the tray at him? I'm tempted to let you. Yeah, I remember this. Feisty as well. Oh, be still my beating heart. I love this. This is my favorite thing ever. I love it. Alright, skip. And then we have to choose Rumple all the frickin' time. Which I remembered from playing Karma, so we don't have to go through this again. Even though I lost, these two still are locked. Maybe I have to play all these routes. This, and this? Or maybe I have to play his, and then these two unlock. And then Rumple and Karma are just like extras. Which is bullspit. I love Karma. He's so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. But Rumple, let's go. The flatterer. I don't think I could ever date someone who's like super flattery. Like Rumple. Karma is a flattery person too, but it's not as, you know, it's not as, it's just, da 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 da. And you're like, oh. Whereas Rumple's like, da 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 da, and you're like, too much. No. Skip. I want the choices. Okay, so he doesn't like things, so turn and walk away. I just remember that I have something to do. I turn around and start walking away, but I am immediately stopped when I feel Rumble's hand on my shoulder. I slap his hand away. Fierce as always, you remind me of a rose with thorns, Princess. I feel like we did this. He leans closer and winks at me. Ew. But the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. Ew! See, this is what I mean. It's too much. Are you always so persistent, or do you actually want me to slap you again? Your slapping me is but a small blockade in the road. I will never give up on you, Princess. Does he enjoy it when I purposefully try to ignore him? Yes, he does. The most brilliantly sparkling gems are buried deep within the ground and take much effort to unearth. What? Princess, you are like one of those gems. I remember this. No, I'm not like a gem. Yes, you are. Skip, I remember this. And if I don't remember it, then it's just so cringe that I'm going to say I remember it. I remember this. We have to slap him. Accept the gift. I'm not used to receiving gifts out of the blue. What a shame. I would give you so many gifts if I could, Princess. Why? Because people are moved by gifts when they come from the heart. I take the small bag from Rumple's hand and look at it for a few moments. Besides, this is both a thank you gift and an apology gift. A thank you for accepting me as your partner, and an apology for my behavior yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but both you and the boy seemed frightened. I remember this. Unless he says the same thing, and that's why I remember it? They should show the gift itself and not the bag. Yeah, alright. Skip. Alright. I have to attempt to flirt? Right, I remember this. I was shocked that I had to flirt. Okay, I don't want to flirt. Okay. Oh, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment just at the thought of this. Okay. Attempt to flirt! I can feel Rumple smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think that it was some kind of prank. But considering this is the way Rumple acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I tried to recall how he flirted with his customers before. I could not help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumple usually say? Madam, you are the most beautiful thief I've ever met, for it is you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Oh, God. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. All he does is spout complimentary gibberish. I will try to do the same. Oh, no. How is it that you would always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun, and I stop. The words, nothing more than a shallow lie, make me feel strangely hollow. The man is just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I do not think he is anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. Ma'am? Perhaps you would. My voice trails off. I bite my lips so hard I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. My whole face is hot, and I can feel anger boiling deep inside of me. Ah, Princess! Leave me alone. Princess, we're not done. I do not care. I ignore everyone's gazes as I make my way as quickly as I possibly can, up the stairs and into my room. See, but okay, so if you flirt like that, it makes it seem like you're trying to, like you have a crush on someone and you're trying to get up the courage, and then you're not able to get up the courage, so then you run away, and then that person thinks that you actually like them because that's kind of cute, but oh, no flirting. No, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. That's awkward for both people, and it's like, I hate it. No, this is horrible. I hate this decision. There, I collapsed on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever even thought of taking Rumple's advice? Hours go by, and eventually I realize that it's time to help Anise with the night chores. Now, I am helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise does not mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delore are talking to each other at a table. Karma passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to Anise, who is already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I am fine. Now, what did you need me to do? Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots where the new bottles go. It's not a hard job and one I can do easily without thinking too hard. I remember this! Skip. We apologize. I remember this. Skip. Ooh, this one says to tell him off. Okay. Right now, he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? Tell him off! Why'd you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic? I cross my arms and Rumple grins at me. I can't help it, Princess. I am dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So you did not mean what you said? No, I did. I swear I did. I was trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person on appearances is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. I meant what I said, Princess, and I swear that wasn't just me trying to weave spectacular words together. Earlier, I bet you made Anise happy too. I remember this part! It's going Back to where I remember things. Okay. Next! This says, stop walking. I instantly root myself in place, and even though Rumple is far taller than me and far stronger, he stops after noticing that I am no longer walking. Wait, what do you mean far stronger? Like you think he might pull you down? You think he's the kind of person that would just drag? I'm confused. What? Okay. Oh, princess, did you want to stop and admire the scenery? Why are you taking me through here? I do not care about scenery, and I do not care about walking anywhere with you. Ah, princess, your honesty really is a treasure. One day I will make it so you enjoy going places with me, not just holding my hand. I quickly slide my hand out of his, my face feeling somewhat hot. Ah, there's the sweet rosiness to your cheeks. You never answered my question. It's a detour. We were only going to be in here for a few minutes. If you thought you saw someone's eyes on you, it's better to avert their attention away from Marchen. Very true. Also, as I'm going through this, I'm realizing that Rumple is a creeper. Like, the choices that you choose for the best choice seem to be ones that, like you're trying to show that you're not interested in a person. Kind of. Like, a lot of them are that way. You walk away from the person, you tell them off, you slap them, all this jazz. And he's like, yes, I love it. And he keeps going for you. It's like, I don't like this storyline. Like, I'm very glad that it tells you more of things as it goes, so that way it's not just your choices, it's also your character's reactions to his reactions to your choice. And then you get to see how things go and evolve from there. But, like, this is forcing your character to have romance with someone. And the choices to force this romance to happen, it's just weird. I don't like it at all. It's creepy. Like, if I were just going through and choosing these options and I wasn't playing the game and I didn't know the storyline and I was just going zoom 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 zoom, I don't think I would want to play this route at all. Like, with Karma's route, I chose the options. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. This is cute. Ah, with this one, it's like, oh, this is creepy. Oh, this is creepy. Why? Eh. I mean, it's getting better. This is chapter 5 right now. It seems it's getting better, but, like, I'm glad there's story. I'm very glad there's story, and that they did the story well enough to make this not as creepy as it is, and to not make him as creepy as he is, because otherwise, oh my goodness, just oi, oi. And before you say it's dangerous, yes, it is, but we're still not far enough away from town to worry about safety. It won't let me skip, and I believe I can protect you. Won't you compliment my cleverness, sweet princess? He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. And see, it's fingers around wrist, not fingers curling into your hand or something like that. It's the wrist. Like, what is that? Skip. This one says to go to Rumple's room, which makes sense. I remember that. I'll go check on him. I remember this! So I'm skipping it. I remember defending Rumple even though I wanted to watch from afar, so I'm skipping this. I said I am still his partner, so I remember that. I don't trust her. I remember reconsidering. Ooh, I don't remember if I talked to him or remained silent. Would you like someone to listen to your problems? Oh, I said talk to him, but I should have remained silent. I remember this. My problems. Why would he want to know about my problems? I understand what it's like, princess, to have a secret stuck inside of you. To want to keep things to yourself because you're worried that someone will prove you wrong. But you can always talk to me about it. Why are you so interested in my problems? I told you before that the best thing you can do is listen to a person. That's how you learn to sympathize. Besides, I honestly care about you. I will always listen to you, princess. Rumple slowly reaches out to rest his hand on top of mine. See, that's sweet. Hand on top of hand, not hand on wrist. I sit up straight and stare at him, my eyes wide. Rumple smiles at me, a slow, soft smile that crinkles the edges of his eyes. Seeing such a beautiful lady close to tears makes my heart break, you know. And there he goes. Skip. I remember struggling because I was like, no. It's like she would struggle. All right, this one, look away. I think I looked away the first time too. There he goes again with his compliments. I should be used to them by now, but lately, whenever he compliments me, I cannot stop myself from feeling flattered. When I look into his eyes, I can almost see my reflection in them. Without realizing, I look away from him, feeling my breath stop short before I can breathe out. Oh, maybe I did not look away because there's a doctor thing. So maybe I didn't? Because that seems like something I have not read before. Are you sick, Princess? You look a little flustered. Princess? He removes his finger. He does not, however, step back. I am still aware of his lips so close to mine and his eyes, which are still looking right at me. Yeah, I remember things going from there. So, yeah. Delore just complimented me? Right, I didn't thank her and I should have. I remember that. Out of all people, I did not expect Delore to compliment me. Not when she makes a point of telling me the blunt truth. Thank you. There is no shock on Parfait and Dolore's faces when they smile at me. I'm beginning to think you and Delore are alike. You're both stubborn and have good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm. Hey, Lilac and I are nothing alike. I feel lighter somehow. I do not know if I have forgiven Delora just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see many things I would not have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I am still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, what's this? My lovely little princess is in here with you two? Ah, Rumple, you're early tonight. Surprised to see me, beautiful? Yeah, we're out of here. See ya. Oh, I heard the princess thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful when leaving her mouth. Oh, jeez. So you were also eavesdropping. You two are very alike. Not at all. Rumple leans towards me and smiles. My dream is to one day hear those words from you too, because you say them as gentle as the wind. If you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, I'm out. I remember that. Should I go find him? I believe I left the room. Right, because they made it weird, so leave the room. Oh, goodness. Okay, this one is... I remember being, like, hating the way this one is I love you and you love me. I remember choosing I love you because we had to be, like, assertive. So, I love you. Skip. Oh, we did this. We did this. I have no questions. We learned everything we needed to learn. I want to help. I remember this. Remember, gotta be steadfast. The neck. I remember this. We're smarty pantses. Scream for help. I remember this. We're smarty pantses. It's nice to meet you. I messed up on this one. I remember that. There's no point in trying to convince the king of my birthright here and now. I would only confuse him more, and now is not the time nor place. I glance at Mithras, who's smiling at me expectantly. Besides, Mithras must have a reason for insisting my birthright right now. Most likely he just means to confuse the king more. If that is the case, I will not play into such a petty scheme. My name is Lilac. Thank you for your kindness that one time. Rod looks shocked. I scowl at him before turning to Mithras. Mithras' smile has twisted into a frown. I feel proud in seeing him caught off guard. Lilac, what are you doing here? Gennaro, she is undoubtedly your daughter. That is why she is in the room that you have been taking care of. What? Yeah, he's been taking care of her room. I remember that. Skip! Not like my mother. Alright, we're here at the good ending. Let's see Cavalier not die this time. Weirdo. Cavalier, don't listen to him. Just look at all of these men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. Cavalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That is why you sought help from a witch. Magic. I wish they had shown that witch. Maybe at the good ending she'll appear. Mithras' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that is different from normal. Knight plunges his sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Cavalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. He does not see anyone except for Mithras, who is still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I glance at the sword, remembering what Cavalier taught me. Mithras is in guard right now, but I have better judgment than that, and I told Cavalier that I was going to steer clear of the burden of taking someone's life. I have a promise to keep. I gazed up at Cavalier and realized that this was how he looked every time he regained a memory, like he was stuck in his own mind. There's only one thing I can think of to get him out of this trance. I clench my hand into a fist, and I punch Cavalier in the face. Wow, not a slap, but a punch. Okay. Ow! Ow, God, it's my face! Impossible. Cavalier's eyes clear, and when he looks at me, I can tell he is distraught, but his eyes are seeing the present. Sorry, I thought I lost you. I suppose I needed that, didn't I? Cavalier smiles sheepishly. It is fleeting and gone by the time we both turn to Mithras again. Cavalier looks straight past the still fighting knights. If this bothers Cavalier, which it must, he hides it beneath a neutral expression. How did you break my spell? You cannot even use any magic. She didn't break it with magic. She broke it with the power of love. Okay, right. Sure, yeah, that's what that was. Magic love fist. I stare at him skeptically. We both know that is not true, and I know Cavalier well enough to know that he does not mean that. But Mithras looks furious. Love? Ha! As if some fairy tale love could save you from this predicament. Princess, you're a witch. We feed off negativity, off of chaos and loathing. Love serves us no power. Life is about balance. Lilac taught me that. And though I might not be able to uphold a balance of negatives and positives myself, I am at least going to try. You could try to do the same. Maybe look beyond your depressing life and start reaching for something that gives you happiness. Something that won't plummet you back into the same darkness. Mithras snaps his fingers and the knights all freeze. Then they turn to us, swords raised. I do not need to be lectured by some lovesick fool. By all means, cling to your love. I will show you how fragile it is. Witches do not need love. If that were true, then what is keeping you so, connected to the queen? I'm pretty sure that's some form of love. Mithras holds out his hands, and the knights begin their steady, deadly march toward us. Cavalier takes my hand and pulls me back. But I see my opening in the narrative. Mithras enjoys inflicting pain with his words, and I can do the same. If you do not need love, if you do not need affection, then why are you doing all of this for Mother? Yep. I am not. You are doing it to be recognized. Why? Every student wants to impress their teacher. His words are calm, but there is a desperation in them. Mother was Mithras' teacher? I thought he was just reviving her as another witch, but... Do you know Mithras? It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher. Teacher? Wait. Waltz, are you a witch? Yeah. Waltz was Mother's student? No, I cannot think about that now, but I can use this to my advantage. I do not remember Mother's students in the least, but one of them turned out right. The other did not, and I can see the bitterness in you. It is the same bitterness I held, only yours goes deeper. You will not sway me with your foolish words. The knights begin to rush us. The run is more of a pathetic shuffle given the harmed state that they are in, but this does not slow them down. We're going to run. But, trust me, Princess, I will protect you no matter what happens. He grabs my hand and we wait. I can see Cavalier's eyes darting around as he searches for an opening. I can feel the pulse of his quickened heartbeat but through his hand, and I know he is panicking. Interesting. Suddenly there's a massive, luminescent gold wall in front of us. The knights stumble right into it, their swords hitting the bright barrier. Are you okay? Parfait used magic! Parfait rushes to stand in front of us. Mithras' expression is a cold, angry glare. He measures the situation with a critical eye and then turns away and begins to dart down the hall. Ugh. Parfait collapses to one knee, arms still outstretched to maintain the barrier. Oh no. Dolora appears. She is flustered and bleeding on one arm, but she still stands straight. Magic! Dolora holds up her hand and summons fire. Put down the shield, Parfait. I have this. Parfait releases the shield, and the magic projectiles shoot out at the knights. The two edge the knights back through the hallway, but I can see Parfait growing weaker and weaker by the moment. Parfait takes a deep, shuddering breath as she tries to stand. When she falls yet again, Cavalier takes a step forward and looks at her urgently. Lady Parfait! I'm fine, don't fuss. Her breathing is labored, but she still manages to smile. I fought in the Great War. This is nothing. But you're weaker now than you were before. She looks at me and Cavalier. You two need to leave. But you're... Fine. I just need to gather my energy. A spell from Dolores sends the knight sprawling to the ground after she creates a heavy downpour of rain that quickly turns into ice. You two keep going. The entrance is clear. I notice the witches that had been standing behind Mithras approach us now. Dolores stands at the ready. I can tell that she is hiding a great amount of stress behind her smirk. Parfait slowly gets to her feet. We fight together, Dolora. There is no one I'd rather be fighting by my side, Faye. Oh, I like that. We finally have a nickname. Faye for Parfait. Oh, that should have been brought up sooner. Come on, princess, while we still have an opening. We head around the side. Parfait erects a shield to protect us from any magic that comes our way, and Dolores summons a whirlwind as a distraction. Ow! My foot is grazed by fire magic, causing me to stumble, but I force myself into a limping sprint regardless. This is nothing. At the entrance, I pause in the middle of the room. The main entrance hall is eerily silent. And then I see Mithras edging his way into the king's throne room. He is holding tight to Emmeline. He notices me watching and smiles. Then he disappears into the throne room. We have to follow him. Princess, he has Emmeline. Cavalier's posture and expression are indecisive, but mine are not. I know Mithras is baiting me, but I cannot leave her alone. My gaze moves around the hallway as I search for other knights. The place is empty, but it is not long before we hear footsteps. I tense at the sound, and Cavalier holds tightly to my hand. Then suddenly, as the figure draws nearer, I recognize him, even if he seems a completely different, older person. Whoa! Hello, Waltz. Damn. You look much better as an adult. Look at that neck. Oh my goodness. I finally found you. Waltz? You broke your curse, but how? Cavalier stares at him in awe. I now dub you Waltz the Big. There was never Waltz the Small. Waltz shakes his head. And I broke my curse unexpectedly. I've actually found the item I needed while I was searching around. But I can explain more later. For now, we have to go after Mithras. Do you know where he is? He's in the throne room. Mithras stands in the middle of the empty throne room, holding Emmeline to him. He has his hands around her neck. No sudden moves, you three, or this girl dies. And I do not know how much death bothers you. With a start, I realize he is talking to Waltz. All three of us are frozen. Myth. Traitor. Why can't you see that Hilda wasn't trying to teach us? She was trying to corrupt us. Silence, traitor! You betrayed her. During the war, you betrayed our own teacher. Betrayed? Hilda was corrupted. She cannot be saved. How dare you use her name? Mithras' fingers tighten on Emmeline's throat. I can see the tears running down her face. Her sobbing is quiet, but still it reaches my ears in the silent room. Varg! Varg appears from the darkness as he did before. He smiles at all of us from behind Mithras, eyes glinting mischievously. You didn't finish the job. You were awfully vague when you told me to take care of them. You know, most people would assume that meant entertaining them and offering them refreshments. Oh my god, I love him. Obey me! Varg turns to us. He draws the sword he used earlier, his smile fading. I think I see something like pain in his eyes, but then I think it might be my imagination. He looks stoic as he moves toward us. When Waltz moves, Mithras' hands tighten over Emmeline's neck, and she cries out. Cavalier is watching everything quietly. The concern in his eyes is muted by the urgency. I follow his gaze around the room, wondering what he is searching for. Myth, is it? You were injured during the Great War. I tended to you once. Stabbed in the stomach. You need stitches for it. I feel Mithras' confusion before I see it. For just a few moments, though, his gaze is centered on Cavalier, his eyes probing him for information. No one came for you. Your teacher must have thought you were too weak, that you would die. Oh, snap. Mithros' hands fly away from Emmeline's neck as he lunges towards the Cavalier with a snarl, his expression mad. The room breaks out into chaos then. I feel the rise of magic beside me as Waltz readies the spell, the tension in Cavalier's body as he prepares to shield me, and lastly, I see Varg zip across the room. Everything goes white. When I look up, I see Walt standing in front of me with the shield. Mithros' hand lies flat against the shield, and I can feel the heat of his magic. Varg lays on the ground beside his fallen sword, unconscious from the impact of magic. Even Cavalier is on his knees. I rush toward the sword at the same moment Walt pushes Mithros back onto the ground. Then, sword in hand, I stand above Mithros and aim it at his neck. The blade touches his skin without sinking into it. Emmeline is hiding behind the throne, staring out at the scene with shock on her tear-stained face. Will you kill me? Where's Rod during this? Why wasn't Rod with his sister? I have questions. Was he, stuck to the ground and while Mithros took Emmeline? Why would he take Emmeline and not, the dad? I'm confused. I have questions. Mithros' smile is a mere shadow of itself. You saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. Did you see the hollow look in their eyes? I have seen that look many times. It is the look of a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious, and a life is still a life, whether it's vile or not. It is still a responsibility you have to bear. I know how valuable lives are because I have helped so many people. That desperation is in Mithros' eyes now, a man that clings to life. It would be so easy to slice his throat. I have seen so much bloodshed on this night, and it all was caused by Mithros. If I kill him, I can stop all of it. But that would make me no better than Mother. I drop the sword. Mithros actually stops to stare at me in shock. I am not like Mother. I will not kill you for revenge. No sooner have I said the words than I feel a sudden heat at my chest. My hand instinctively reaches up to grab the necklace around my neck. And then there is a bright light. When the light clears, a new source of light catches my eyes. Slippers! I stop to stare down at my feet, which are in glass slippers that shine so brightly they sparkle even in the dim light. But I have no time to admire the shoes or the weight that has fallen off my shoulders. I barely recognize that the fairy tale curse has been broken. Emmeline rises from behind the throne and screams, Lilac, watch out! Mithros has grabbed the sword with his hand, turned it around, and is aiming it at my chest. It hits a barrier. Parfait stands beside me once more, her face devoid of any color. I did not see her rush in here. She takes a step forward as if to shield me. Out of my way. It'd be cool if they had made her, when she's healthy-ish, there's a healthy version of her, and then the sicker she gets, the sicker she looks. I can't see any difference. Mithros draws the sword back and plunges it again at the shield. This time the blade is coated with darkness. It pierces the already flimsy shield, and the blade goes through Parfait's heart. No, Parfait! Wait, but she doesn't have an heir! Wait! But who takes over? Wait! Parfait! Parfait grabs the blade and narrows her eyes at Mithros. I'm so sorry, Hilda did not appreciate you. Something swells inside of me as I stare at Parfait. The sword is impaled in her, and I can see her eyes go glassy. Wait! I cannot speak, cannot breathe. Waltz rushes forward with his magic and pins Mithros forcefully to the ground. He raises his hand, but it never comes down in time. A sword strikes past his shoulder, right at Mithros' neck. When I turn, it is Cavalier that is holding it. His body shakes as tears run down his cheeks. Mithros holds his neck as Cavalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch movement that can only be Varg, but I do not care. Lady Parfait, do not move. We can take the sword out. We can... But I see the hopelessness in Cavalier's expression and I know that whatever wound Parfait took was lethal. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in Parfait's. There is no need to fuss. When Parfait falls, Waltz grabs her and puts his hand to the hilt of the sword. Cavalier crumples beside her. He stares at the blood staining her dress with sorrow. I start to cry. Lilac, I do not regret this. I am proud of you. The room is quiet, even with the newcomers that arrive. The knights in Karma watch the scene from the sidelines, all with grim looks on their faces. Last to arrive is Delora, who sits down beside Parfait with her lips pulled into a uptight frown. Her face is stern, but I can tell it is a mask. Parfait, that look doesn't suit you, Delora. I told you to stay back. Had I not been here in time, the princess would have. Her words fall apart as she begins to cough. Delora leans over and shakes her head. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. Everything is as it should be, Delora. Parfait cranes her neck to look up at me. Wipe away your tears, Lilac. What you did was a good deed. You spared a man's life. But life is not a fairy tale. Humans are good and bad. No, it isn't. But the fear of death makes a life even more valuable. Do not worry, Princess. I chose this. Parfait smiles. It is mystifying to see her smile when her body is slowly crumbling away in Waltz's grasp. Wait, it's crumbling? Like, crumble? Like, what? Parfait's body is what gives out first. Her eyes go next. They remain focused on me, smiling. Her body begins to glow as her body slowly fades away. Okay, so is her body crumbling or fading? I have questions. Parfait! Dolores turns away. Even if she is not shedding any tears, it is clear that she is heartbroken. She closes her eyes and releases a shaky sigh. Sweet dreams, my friend. Oh my goodness, wait, but who takes over? What happens? There's no air. What happens? I do not know how long we all stay in that room mourning the loss of Parfait. Karma, Jurian, and Garland eventually spread out to search for any remaining danger. At some point, they return with the king and the rest of the family. My reunion with my family is half-hearted. I do not know what to say to people that I hated only months ago. Despite the quiet, they all take me in with open arms. This ending is much more different than the Karma ending. Because this one, there's the death of her closest, whatever you could call, friend, and she goes and just talks to people like normal, even though he died right in front of her. And then Parfait dies, someone who she's known for just a little bit, and she's like, the reaction is completely different. It's weird, and I don't understand it. The king stays by my side long after the others have left. Karma and the knights return to the Marchand to tell the others the news. Waltz goes to search the palace for any remaining resistance. Only Delora, Cavalier, the king, and I remain. Cavalier cries. I have never seen him cry before, but his heartbreak is my own. What happened was a nightmare, but it eventually ended. It was even lighter. Like, Karma brought in a bunch of lightness after her friend died. And she was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But here it's like everyone is in mourning. And I don't like this route. It makes less sense than Karma's route. Last night, Varg escaped the throne room. No one saw where he disappeared to in all of the chaos. I am beginning to believe that his faint was a trick. Since the night had left everyone so tired, we were offered rooms in the palace. I came to my room with Cavalier, where the two of us attempted to comfort each other with words. Cavalier was especially shaken, being the one to kill Mithras. He was in tears for a long time. I am pretty sure that I must have fallen asleep somewhere when we were talking, but I'm lying in my bed underneath my covers, and though I think for a few moments that it must be a figment of my imagination, it is not. Handsome. Cavalier is definitely lying right next to me, sleeping beneath those same covers. How did this happen? I put off the recollection of the previous day to stare at Cavalier's face. His glasses are off, and without him, his face seems strangely empty. He looks vulnerable, almost like a child, except his features are handsome for that. What am I thinking? I slowly put my hand to his cheek and flinch when his eyebrows crease. Oh, his eyes opened. Moments later, his eyes opened. They are foggy this early in the morning. What is this? Have I been woken by my princess? Usually it is the princes that wake their princesses. I will always wonder how he manages to keep smiling like this. Even when he is in pain, he forces a smile. But you are no prince, and I am not some damsel in distress. Cavalier closes his eyes again and sighs. There's only one way to break the spell of sleep. I flush as his lips curl into a mischievous smile. Still, his eyes do not open. I think about what happened last night. Parfait and Mithras' death, Varg's escape, everyone else's heartbreak. Before I have to relive? What? No, that's relieve. Before I have to relieve the burden, I can afford to lose myself in some happiness. I think it means relive. I don't know. I lean forward to kiss with his smile. I break away from Cavalier, startled. Princess? How distressing. Waltz the Big ruins everything. I quickly slip out of bed, and Cavalier sits up and puts on his glasses with a yawn. Good morning, Princess, and his eyes widen when he sees Cavalier. Are you so tired that words have abandoned you, Waltz? Waltz looks so fine. No, I wanted to see if the princess was doing okay. If you were both all right, actually. He pauses to look at us, his eyebrows furrowed in thought. Though I can imagine just how tongue-tied you must be, you should speak if you have something to say. Walt sighs. I didn't want to bring this up so soon, but it's been on my mind the whole night. It's just, you didn't have to kill Myth. That was my job. Your job. I doubt that. Besides, I didn't want to kill him. It was a reaction. The room goes silent for a few moments as Cavalier stares down at the floor. He told me before that lives were valuable. That is why I tried to save Mithros, but in the end, my sparing his life forced Cavalier to carry the burden of his death. He has already told me that it is not my fault. Parfait said that what I did was a good deed, but still, killing Mithros saved us more casualties. I hope I can convince Cavalier of that. Most likely, he will wrestle with that guilt for a long time. I turn my attention back to Waltz, and will the questions to the back of my mind for the time being. Waltz, there are questions I need to ask you. About how he broke his curse, about Mother being his teacher, about Mithros. There's so much to ask him, I do not even know where to start. We have plenty of time for explanations now, Princess. After your birthday, Delora and I will pick up your magic education, but for now you should rest. I'll give you the full story of my apprenticeship and curse another day. It better be in part 2! But Princess, Cavalier, I just thought I'd let you know that when Parfait came into this battle, she expected to die. She told all of us that while we were sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. I glance at Cavalier, who nods quietly. Was it because of her frailty after the Great War, or did Parfait somehow have a feeling? Oh, also, congratulations on breaking your curse, Princess. Cavalier sits up straight, his eyes narrowed behind his glasses. Waltz, I was supposed to congratulate her first. Cavalier stands and kisses me promptly on the cheek. My cheeks flush, and even Waltz looks embarrassed. Congratulations, my sweet. It was all very dramatic when your curse was broken. There was this bright light, and... Wait. Why was there no bright light when I broke my curse? Both Waltz and I burst into laughter. Cavalier just sighs dramatically. He leans against my shoulder, and I do not protest. I have a feeling that getting through the memory of last night might be easier with him here. If anyone can put a smile on my face, it is Cavalier. You obviously do not know the universe in which you ended up with karma, because that is all smiles. We hope to see you again at the Marchand soon, Princess. I will be back. After all, I have friends there. Did I speak falsely? No, of course not. It's the truth. Anyway, I need to get going. I've explained what happened to your father, but you should talk with him privately soon. After everything that happened last night, speaking to the king is the last thing on my mind, but I suppose it must be done. Thank you, Waltz. And you, Cavalier, might want to ask for a guest room. But no bed is as comfy as the princess's. I nudge him without realizing it, but Cavalier just laughs. We promise Waltz that we will see him and everyone else in the Marchand soon. Afterwards, Waltz hurries out and shuts the door. My eyes go to the edge of my bed, where something shiny catches my eyes. The glass slippers are a reminder of everything that happened yesterday. Of the fact that life goes beyond just black and white, good and evil are subjective. In the end, life is gray, Mother. Both good and bad, but even so, even though fairy tale endings cannot exist, I still want to live my life with everyone else. Mithros centered his life around a single person. He was selfish. I will become someone better than him. Thinking about Mithros makes me remember something. Cavalier, yesterday you said that you took care of Mithros during the Great War, that no one came for him. Was that true? I don't know, Lilac. He acted like it was, though, wasn't it? So you never knew Mithros? No, I didn't know him at all. I don't know if I would have been able to strike him down if I did. I don't know what burden he carried, but it seemed heavy. I only guessed at what I could say to distract him. I'd heard rumors of a strong witch that went abandoned for many years. That may have been him. It may not have been. So deception exists in everyone, but it is not entirely what Mother said it was. Is that the end? Oh, okay. Okay, there's more. My birthday is tomorrow. I sit in the throne room speaking to my father, who has listened to my tale with patience. When it is over, he looks at me sadly. I owe you an apology, Lilac. This whole time you have been on your own, and I could not do a thing for you. You can now, starting first by explaining what happened between you and Mother. You knew she was a witch. I did. You did too before she forcefully erased your memories. I tried reaching out to you many times when you were a child, but my efforts were met with resistance. Still, I cannot excuse myself for what I have done. I truly abandoned you, and I am sorry for that, Lilac. I will explain the story to you if you give me some time. For now, I would very much like to mend my bond with you. To be honest, the king still angers me. He only apologizes now, after all of this has come to light. Whether or not was difficult to speak to, he still had an obligation to seek me out. You're holding on to some things. He is still late to care, but he is still my father, and I can forgive him. Okay. I can learn to trust him again. Okay, cool. It will take time, but I would like to mend our bond. I would also like to try speaking with Emmeline, Rod, and Ophelia, but that will take time. The king smiles at me. It is one of the first honest smiles I have seen from him in years. We have time, all of the time in the world, and we will mend our family bond, I promise. As I turn to leave the room, the king calls out to me. Lilac, I am proud of you, more proud than any other father in the realm could ever be of his child. After what happened, we searched for Fritz, but he has vanished. Mithros and Varg had said they had replaced him, but they never said anything about what happened to him. We searched endlessly, but to no avail. Huh. All I can hope for is that he is safe, and that I will reunite with him again in the future. Oh, Waltz's performance today was amazing. Don't you agree, Mr. Cavalier? I agree. You ladies looked especially charming with so many lilies floating around you. Oh my. He always speaks like that. Do not mind him. It has been a whole month since the events at the palace. My birthday has come and gone. Now my life begins. I have been practicing magic with Waltz and Delora, attempting to bond with my family and visiting the Marchen when time allows me to. Anise was overjoyed to see me visiting so often. Since Cavalier operates from there as a doctor, I visit often. Mostly, though, he clings to me like a leech. That's not a good way to describe your lover. Just saying. Oftentimes, I find him in my bed when I could have sworn he was sleeping in another room for the night. Sometimes at night, he has nightmares of blood on his hands and of Mithras' death. And at those times, I am glad to be sitting right beside him so I can promise him that things are all right. As for the fairy tale curse, I have no idea how Lilac puts up with you. Rod's voice comes out from between his lips. Now he can actually speak. Since the fairy tale curse was tied to Mother's still living soul in the crystal, her disappearance and my taking her place immediately caused the root to vanish. I have been working for days to break everyone's fairy tale curses with magic, and when I am done, no one in this kingdom will have to suffer from it ever again. And now the Marchen is not just a place reserved for the cursed, now it is open to the public. Lilac enjoys it, though. She finds my poetic weavings to be the best in the kingdom. What he means to say is I can only put up with them because of our relationship. Loving someone so much you can put up with their nonsensical poetry. I thought you were the nice one, Princess Emmeline. No, she has a point. Emmeline focuses her attention on a musician standing off in the distance. She points excitedly, then rushes after them, pulling her brother with her. Her guards follow. Ever since the incident at the palace, we have had more security. I do not blame the king, though it can be tiring at times. Luckily, he is more lax with me. When I told him Cavalier was going to be with me, he settled with having Emmeline and I share guards. And so I get to be alone with Cavalier often. Father was wary of him at first until he found out he was a renowned doctor. Now he and Cavalier get along well enough. Cavalier takes a step closer to me and I place my hands around his arm. Oh, that's sweet. I am no prince, nor am I a knight in shining armor. I am just a doctor. A doctor who has been blessed with the most beautiful woman in this world. Cavalier begins to lead me through town again. He is one of the only constants in my ever-changing life. He is the one that will always make me smile, and we share the burden of a friend's death. He is more burdened with nightmares than I am, and while I wish I could do more to help, I can at least listen to him, just like he listens to me. No matter the burden, it can be overcome. Lilac, yes? I love you, more than anything in this world. I love you too. We share one kiss, ignoring the spectators in the town with a shared smile. Then we follow after Emmeline. But who takes over for Parfait? I don't. I enjoyed Rumple's storyline when I was going through it, just to go through it. I like the bad ending. The good ending after playing Karma's ending, I don't like Rumple's good ending. Like, I don't like Karma's bad ending. Karma's bad ending does not make sense. Rumple's bad ending makes sense. Karma's good ending doesn't make sense. Rumple's good ending makes more sense. But like, even though Karma's endings make little sense, like the good and bad one, Rumple's bad ending makes sense. His good ending barely makes sense. Like, even though it makes more sense than Karma's ending, I still like Karma's more. I'm just maybe I'm just too in love with Karma, and I'm like, no, ew, ew. But yeah, no, no. Mm-mm. I enjoy Rumple as a person. Like, if if it was a character on an anime, I'd be like, hi, I like that person. They're funny. I enjoy them. But Rumple as someone I'm personally trying to romance in a game, I don't. It's no. So this was the Karma. No, Rumple. This was the Rumple route. I like Karma more, and they're both similar. But you know what? Whatever. This was the Rumple route for Cinderella Phenomenon. Thank you for watching. Yes, I played it. You're welcome. Play 2 endings. If you guys want me to continue playing this and showing you me playing this, because I'm gonna play it on my own. But like, if you want me to watch words, if you would like me to show you guys me playing it, let me know, and I will record those for you to see. Otherwise, Spool of Gold is a good ending. Otherwise, I'm going to play this on my own time. That's really cool. I enjoy that. Next time I play this, it would be Rod, because I'm pretty sure I have to play Rod in order to get the other 2. So, yeah, leave a comment telling me if you want me to play this for you guys, or if you want me to move to a different romance game. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do the things, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. Okay, bye!